Well, it's early in the morning. The chickens have turned over all their stuff because they're, I don't know, pissed off that UNC lost the NCAA championship, I guess. Damn chickens. Starting a new job today, but I gotta tend to these chickens. They're out of control. Morning, guys. I'm heading out to a job. We're gonna install a Rheem 3-ton 15-seater split system. You will have, by the time this video comes out, it's probably about a week and a half from the date I'm doing the job. It's April 6th, I think, today. Air handler was really small, and you'll have seen it by then because there's a few videos I have it in my shop. Looking forward to seeing this new Rheem platform, seeing my buddies John install them and Steve. I kind of wanted to try one out just to see what it was like. I don't think I'll do only Rheem or something like that, but maybe a platform of Rheem and Goodman would be kind of nice to have one of each and let people compare. Rheem's always been a real nice unit in my opinion. Easy to service. They say these new ones are easy to service too because of the wide access, but I look forward to seeing it. I've been in there. It's about an hour from my house. I live up near Wallace, North Carolina, and this place is on the way towards Carolina Beach, North Carolina, which is at the other end of the service area. Somewhere I used to service, but as I move and change houses over the years, it seems like I've gotten farther and farther away from Wilmington, which is fine. I'm more of a country person, as you can see from the chicken intro. But it's going to be a 2-day job. I have prior obligation in the afternoon. I have to take a young lady to dance class, and I've let the homeowners know. And it's very temperate this week. In fact, the low last night was in the 30s, so it's not going to be hot. Of course, they can still run their heat strips if they need heat, so there's no worry there. So everything's kind of at a more leisurely pace, which is kind of nice. And hopefully today we at least set the air handler up there, maybe even get it fittings built for it if it needs it. See if I need to build a box for it. Maybe set the outdoor unit. We'll see how far we get and take it out an old Amana unit and see its better day. It's been around for about 20 years. It's a true Amana. It's before Goodman purchased the company. So a nice unit, and hopefully a nice unit going in. I look forward to using it. I got my recovery equipment out. I got the old Amana here. Old Amana, like a boss. I'm going to hook up my cheater cord here so I can run the recovery machine. Get the gas out of this thing so I can disconnect it. This is how I do the Z manifold recovery. We have 2 hoses here, just like normal hoses I keep in my box. I have my dryer. This is a 16 cubic inch flare dryer. I got this idea. I think I saw Steve Lab using this. I thought it was a good idea to use a bigger dryer. Both of them, the cord's going to my cord remover. I have the shredder removed from this side. Then it runs up to the recovery machine. And then I have it going over to the tank. So that's how I do my recovery with the sort of a Z manifold style, keeping it simple without having the manifold. We got our lines all cut out. Feeder cord up there. The old Amana separated. I always block off the lines whenever I'm done until we blow them out. Gee, John, you were right. It is beautiful. Even has a ECM fan motor. Wow.
Well, that's the bee's knees.
That's the way.
That's really nice. This must be included in the video. Oh, that's great. I can see why people would like that. Yeah, that's very nice. That's very good. Well done, Rheem. Well done. Very smart. Just like the Z manifold, it has to work and be simple and convenient.
But it was late in the summer in that Carolina heat. Rode down to Black River just trying to wet our feet. Off of work and rest. restless, trying to ease my weary mind, trying to get the weekend started with a couple friends of mine. Then out of the water she come walking like a dream. My friends and I just sat there, we couldn't even speak. Later as she sat with me, I thought there's some mistake. Just thank the Lord 3 times for making me work late. Well, it was 7 hours later when I finally got her home. I know her pop is angry 'cause I see the lights are on. Yeah, her dad was angry 'cause he worked a double shift. I didn't want to be the one he put his anger in. And out of the corner I got my last goodbye, smile and a wave, and out went the lights. And I sat there later while I was driving home. Just thank the Lord 3 times for making me work late.
I got my lines all brazed in, got my dryer put in right there. Actually got a chance to put it in vertically. Don't usually get that chance. And about 175, between 175 and 180 as far as pressure. I don't hear any leaks on my joints here. No leaks thus far. So we'll continue to monitor that while I clean up a little bit for today. And I'll be coming back tomorrow to finish things up. Guys, I'm heading back to the job with the Rheem. We had some severe thunderstorms move in this morning, but I tell you what, it's about as pretty as can be now that they've moved out of here. Had a line come through northern Pender County here about an hour ago. Then it came through Wilmington a little bit later. So it should be pulling away from the job site right about now, but it'll be a good hour before I get there anyway. I gotta make a couple stops, and then we'll get back to finishing up that Rheem install and starting her up hopefully today. Worst case will be tomorrow, depending on where the weather goes from here. I am letting my nitrogen off. I'm gonna wrap my line here. My cardboard got a little wet overnight. Our model RP1536AJ, what in A, whatever that means. And there's our vacuum pump about to spring into action. So we're gonna put the vacuum on it. Mike's finishing some stuff up in the attic, and then we'll be firing her up here shortly. See our vacuum gauge here. You can see it says 247. We valved it off last time. It rose up to about 1,000, so we need to run a little bit longer. It's our defrost control board with our little lights. We're going to tie everything in. I still use what I call Goodman colors, no matter what machine it is, although this one's a little bit different because you have the Y. You also have B, which is the reversing valve. It's energizing the heating. We have D, which is our W2 signal, basically, or W1, whatever way you want to think of it. R, red, and then our common is brown. So a little bit different than some of the other units I've done before. But I've worked on Rheems long enough to know that they have a little bit different colors. And that's fine, because, hey, they wrote it right there. And I remember it anyway, because I've seen them a lot of times, servicing them. So. And our contactor, our vacuum pump. So I'm going to finish wiring this thing up, and then we can move on to the next step. Vacuum's over. I'm opening the valves for the refrigerant. As soon as Mike's done We'll go inside and reprogram the thermostat when the power's on, and then we'll be firing her up. We have our service valves here. I opened up one of them already with my service tool. And I put the thing in there, turn it and open it up. Everybody's seen that happen. But the other one is one of those shallow ones where my extended service tool fitting will bottom out and won't catch that valve. And I didn't have another one. I had cut one off with a grinder. I don't know where that one is, but I found that my extra drill chuck for my Hillmore, which I have an extra one because I had two Hillmore tools at one time, is the same size. So I cut that off. And now it fits right down in there. Looks kind of stupid, but it fits. And Mr. Mike of Palace Enterprises gave me this wrench a while back, and that fits right down on top of here. So I can now open the valves with that wrench. So I just have to turn it over to get the right orientation. Good grief. And now, thanks to Mike and a little bit of ingenuity, the valve is open. Like I said, I had one of these tools like this before for these shallower valves, but I don't have any idea where it's at now. But now I can just keep this, I'll put it in the same pouch, and it'll work great. There we are. Normal testo device here. I think it's the 410i. Yeah. I measured my grills. The grill could be cleaned a little bit, or replaced probably. 2 grills, got a total around 1100 CFM. So we're close. We're looking at right now 360 to 380 CFM per ton. So we're gonna start things up here in a minute, and then we will be charging it up and make sure it's all squared away.
Very first time. Oh, that's probably the way on the board.
I do like these set up like that. You can change the motor without taking the top off. Defrost.
Here we are. Very first time. We're gonna get the smart sticks ready. I'm waiting for the other one to click on. There's worms. This Rheem is really reaming along nicely. Well, got 254 over 127. You only have about 2 degrees of subcooling just under that, but I guess we gotta let it run for a little while. So we shall see.
Yours.
I've had this great speech I just did that Mike didn't record. That's fine. This one's gonna be not as good as that one. Just know that. Suction pressure is 122 or 123. Gives us about a 42 degree evaporator. Since inside we're right along 73, 74 degrees. Typically there's a 35 degree spread on a regular evaporator between the inside temperature and the evaporator temperature. So we have it actually a little bit less than that, almost like it's high efficiency, but it's not. So we're in the ballpark, we're about 32, 31. So we're close as far as suction pressure. Subcooling's coming up. We gotta see if we got a target subcooling. We got 2.8 now. So it's coming up nicely. I'm gonna check see if there's a target subcooling. Show you my battery.
It goes up around 15 foot and over another 15, 20 foot. So we should have to put a little bit in there. And we are. .6 degrees of subcooling. Superheat hasn't flipped over yet. Make sure it's still on. Alright guys, we're looking at cooling and heating power. And it's not going to be perfect here. We took it from this register over here which is in an attic now, which, what do you think, Mike? 80 degrees or so, 85. And off the return, so we should have some duct loss, which we do. Because right now at 1125 CFM, which is just a number I already had punched in there, which is pretty close to where we're at now, we're at 2 tons. So 2 tons, obviously this is a 3-ton machine. We also have not ideal conditions outside as far as temperature of operation. It'd probably be a little bit different if it was 95 degrees outside, which is the same as the previous unit we tested, the one at Rocky Point. Very similar. It had about 2.5 tons of capacity. We're a little bit low on CFM, not too much. And it continues to drop, so it's going to go up a little bit more. So, and there's a little bit of duct loss in the duct on the return, so it's probably a little bit higher CFM than we're looking at now. So, actually, we'll change it to 1200 and see what kind of difference it makes. Even if we aren't getting 1200, we'll see the difference. So we go in here, it says 1125, let's put in 1200, done. And it jumps up, and it's over 2 tons now. But you see it's not that, it's only 25,000 BTUs. This number continues to drop. And if we gain a couple more degrees between the two from loss in the attic, probably up at 2.5 tons or a little bit over. So it gives you a little insight onto what happens when the air leaves the machine and heads to the grill.
Alright, we're up and running. In cooling, 9 degrees of subcooling, 9 degrees of superheat. The Rheem was successful and lovely. We're done with this one. No more testing required. She is good to go. Everything lined up from the target head pressure to target suction pressure. Decent a manifold turn. From airflow to everything else, so it's good to go. So we'll see you guys on the next one.
Is it recording now? Well, she's quiet enough, everybody. Using that fan motor, me and Mike both agree that it sounds a little different than a regular fan motor. Anyone out there agree?
That motor.
It probably sounded like a train going by. Our head pressure is 410. We're running a heat. 410 and 152, as you can see there. So the heating pressures look about right for a day like today. We're up, it says 72. It might not be quite that hot, but up inside, I'm sure it's getting kind of toasty inside as well, because we were at 69 before we started it up. Letting it run a little bit to get a little load on it. First Rheem. What do you think of the first Rheem, Mike? Good. First Rheem is good. Man, a few words. I like it too. John was right about it. They're really nice.
Very well built. I mean, solid, compact. You'll get the same efficiency and all that out of it. I like it.
15 series, not too big.
15?
Yep, 15. Yep, 15 series. It's nice. I think I'll probably try to sell some more of these because they seem like they're really nice. And plus, I think I already sold another one. So that's a package unit. I don't know if they're any different than they were before. They look about the same.
The only thing I don't like about the old package units they have is oil, trying to clean them suckers.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the evaporators? In there? Yeah, you couldn't get to them. You had to go in from the other side. You had to kind of crawl in there because I remember thinking, man, thank God you didn't have to clean most of those because they would leak and you could change them out.